Microblast.
And then occasional,
Macrophage.
yeah, like maybe right there. Again, this is a whole mount. It's not been sectioned. The tissue is so thin that it can be laid right down on the slide after staining. You get some of those. What kind of connective tissue here? Exactly. And tendon. What's another dense regular connective tissue? Ligament?
Ligament.
Okay. If I heard it, I'm sorry. I'm a little bit. This is artifact, separation artifact. Should all be nice, homogeneous peak with these little darker staining fibroblast nuclei. This is a Mallory's trichrome that's reasonably good. You see that most of it is this brilliant blue, and you only have a little bit of the red, which indicates technical failure. Right? A lot of your slides have more red than blue, but again, what other stain is good for identifying polyps? Unequivocally. PAS is more carbohydrate. Another trichrome, Mason's trichrome. Right? You're going to want to keep that in mind. That kind of basic information is fair game on the midterm, or on any of these things. Right? So if you need to differentiate for sure collagen, you're going to hit it with one of these trichromes, so either Mallory or Mason. Okay, this is a low power shot of the skin. You can just see thick skin actually, the epidermis up here. The focus really is on this region right here, which we call the dermis. It's a good example of what kind of connective tissue? Dense irregular. As a matter of fact, any of you that are wearing leather right now, you know, what you're looking at is tan dermis, like cow, lamb, crocodile, whatever. Right? Cross-link these fibers, which are running every which way, with a very strong, tough force. Okay, we've got what kind of stain here? Silver stain, which is good for, and you know reticular fibers are what kind of collagen now? Type 3, and they're glycosylated, which means they have carbohydrate groups stuck on the collagen molecules, so it doesn't stain well with the standard H&E. Right? You can see these reticular fibers here. Probably here and here you've got the reticular cells that produce them. Remember, these puppies cling to the network that they produce. All of these little circular profiles are going to be nuclei of what type of cell? Lymphocytes. I mean, that's the majority of what's happening there. Here, that looks like a macrophage. Right? So you've got, and you have plasma cells, that sort of thing. You'll get in tune with these cells in the next 2 weeks. So don't freak out about that. Anyway, reticular connective tissue also found in the liver. Right? So here you can see these cords of hepatocytes, the liver cells, and note that they're surrounded, places surrounded by these reticulars. Right? So reticular connective tissue. We should be in tune with this by now. The aorta. We've got the lumen here. This region would be called what? Yeah, adventitious, right? Which is a kind of a loose, irregularly arranged connective tissue. Can have fat, that sort of thing. Here is the wall of the vessel, and we'll know 2 weeks from now to call this the tunica media, which contains lots of smooth muscle, and these sheaths. If we were to cut the aorta in cross-section, the sheaths would be circumferential, and they're concentric, which means you've got sheaths and sheaths of elastic tissue interposed with smooth muscles. Right? Now these elastic sheaths are fenestrated, which just means there's holes in them, so you can get diffusion. This right here is a blood vessel, even up into here. To get large vessels, you can't rely on diffusion of oxygen and nutrients from the lumen. You've got to supply the outer third of the wall with its own blood supply. We'll get into that week after week. So here we go with an elastic stain, and you can see nicely these elastic lamellae, particularly when you go into a higher power. Okay? Yeah, exactly. Adipose tissue. all over the body. Okay? What of note is that this space here there's nothing there. Prior to the processing of this tissue, there was a big vacuole full of neutral fat, which has been removed. What you can still see is the thin rim of the cytoplasm, which gets pushed to the periphery. And I've got an electron micrograph that illustrates that here. Here, you've got the fat vacuole. There's a couple that's going to coalesce with that, or else they're being pinched off by lipids to the bloodstream. But here's the cytoplasm of the